this. I think I'm recording this.
Meal trades, we do.
Something is happening here that is not what I want to have happen. Hopefully you guys don't hear any
Village was missing. I thought my village was on social media.
sounds.
And then I got erased and I realized.
I don't know where that's coming from. Oh, I know where that's coming from. Okay, I just deleted that. All right. Sorry. This guy talking that was not me, but okay. Intense times. There was a full moon yesterday, and that must have something to do with the chaos that I'm experiencing right now in my life, and that maybe some of you are experiencing. So, let's talk about that, because, how do we stay present and stay, grounded as much as we can in the face of chaos, and so much of what we often do in our lives is we create stories about things that happen, and almost always those stories are not helpful. They're negative stories that might sound like, oh, this is always like this, or this is never like that, or I can't, or it will never. And the ego, that's the ego, which I was talking a lot today to a client about. We were picking apart the ego. And as I was saying just a minute ago, with everything being intense, as always, it's really not going to probably get a lot better. Honestly, as sad as that sounds, but we're just going to kind of get used to what is occurring, which is, the narrative is crumbling. We're starting to see more and more of us through the illusions of what we've been told, about every system of control, every sort of thing that's been keeping our reality in the way that we perceive our reality in place. And many people are starting to ask questions about that, like what really is going on, what's really true. And that obviously can bring a lot of fear and confusion. From the past few years of COVID, there still has not been healing from that. Most of us are not, are still in a state of like PTSD from what happened. And as a collective, we really need to heal, to allow ourselves to heal. And then it's on to the next thing, and then it's on to the next thing, right? So these like adrenal fatigue. And so we're not going to, none of the powers that be are ever going to do this for us. They're never going to help us try to, cope and find calm and peace. They're going to keep the fear narrative going and the division narrative going. So that's the bad stuff, right? But, what do we do about that is disengage, is not plug in to the fear narrative. Not, just questioning what we hear in the media, just asking questions. Is that really true? Am I really, does that feel right to me? And that's what I pick up on in the Akashic Records over and over, is just to disengage, to not give our energy to that crumbling reality any longer, but to choose, what do we want to give our energy to? And, I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about just, it's going to be essential to have a spiritual practice, just to really be grounded in light, in some sort of higher guidance to keep us going. Some of you here are in my angel class, which I'm, wrapping up a 6-week angel class, which I love connecting with angels because they're so high vibration. There's so much love. Of course, there's the pure energy of God, of source. There's spirit guides, there's ascended masters like Jesus, like Buddha, like Mother Mary. But the trick is that we don't always feel their presence in our lives. And sometimes we can just feel like, are they even really there? But, if we think about it, as humans, we are in a state of separation. That's kind of what it means to be human. And that has caused much of the pain and suffering in our world, is being separated, feeling separated from our inner light and from source, from the creator. so really what we're doing is just remembering, going through this experience of remembering that we are this connected to this source. And the more we unplug from the fear and the anger and the division and the confusion and all that, the more we can connect. And I just wrote this in an email just the other day, or today actually, about vibration and how, and I know a lot of you know this, but it's always worth being reminded that everything is vibration. And the way of being that many of us seek, of, peace, of being in the flow, of being just in a state of trust and contentment in our lives, is a vibration. It's a specific vibration. And a lot of you who've worked with me know about this, what I call like your future self. And that's how, it's coming up with a vision and describing it and picturing it and feeling it of how you want to feel, how you want to be in your highest and best self. It doesn't have to be like super specific, of course, it doesn't have to be anything, but when we can connect with how that would feel, it's a vibration that we're generating. And then in our current lives, we're always kind of, ideally, in an ideal world, we're clearing away whatever it is that blocks us from being in that similar vibration, in that state of being, in that state, in the feelings. And one of the quickest ways to raise our vibration is to come into gratitude. And that's talked about a lot. But what's really important about gratitude is that we're forcing ourselves to notice the good. And that's important because our brains are wired to look for the bad. And that's for whatever reason. There's a lot of reasons probably, right? But we're wired to focus on the negative, even when there's lots of wonderful things. And so it takes time to kind of train our brain, this what's the word I'm looking for? It's not neuro-linguistic programming, but the neurology of it, the neurons, like changing the wiring, the neural wiring in our brain to focus on the more positive things. And this isn't like, just only noticing the positive and ignoring the negative, because that's not helpful either. But going, trying to notice that in our lives. And then we start to bring in better feelings, because we feel, just today, I was saying goodnight to my daughter tonight, and I said, what are you grateful for? And she was saying she was grateful for her friends that she saw at our homeschool co-op today. And I was saying what I was grateful for. And I was just saying, I'm so grateful for the trees and being in this beautiful place. And I'm grateful for our chickens. We had a close call with a hawk that I chased away yesterday, who was attacking our chickens, and they all survived. None of them got injured, which is amazing, because we've lost a few chickens to hawks. And so I was grateful for that. I'm grateful for the chickens being okay. So anyway, these little things that may not seem like, oh, is that a huge deal, that the chickens are okay? Well, it is, because it feels good, and it feels hopeful. And that word hope is so important, because often we don't feel like there's a lot of hope. And certainly if we look at the world and we look at the news and we think that this is the state of the world, it doesn't seem very hopeful. It seems like apocalyptic, right? But we know that that's not real. It's not the true reality. Okay, let's do a meditation, because I want to get to that, obviously, to help us come into vibrational alignment, and to really allow ourselves to feel that. Before I do, I'll just share, a few things that I've got coming up, which, if you're listening, then maybe this would resonate with you. And if you listen later, then maybe it will then. But one of the most important things I do is teach people how to feel like this in their lives, and to then share that with others. And that's in this program, a 10-month program that you've all heard me talk about, but I just wanted to remind you that it's coming in January, the Intuitive Guide Certificate Program, which I call the Soulful Work Method, deep dive to really learn about, how to clear away ego and connect with your intuition and learn how to read the Akashic Records and learn how to guide others in doing the same in guided imagery and working through ego in life coaching. So it's a training program, really, where I teach you how to do all those things as you do in your own life. So if you're curious, reach out to me. We can explore. We need as many of us as we can get, helping others, paying it forward, learning how to clear away whatever gunk and stories and old stuff that are not who you are anymore, and uncovering, well, what is it that you can do to be of service when you do clear that stuff away? Because that's really what we're moving into, is the more and more of us that step up to the plate and say, okay, I'm going to step into my soul mission. I'm going to help. I don't know how necessarily. Maybe it's called intuitive guide. Maybe it's something else, but this will help you clear that, all that stuff away to really shine your light in the way that is part of your blueprint, is part of why you're here on Earth. So if you're curious, feel free to ask me about it and we can talk. Okay, let's do the meditation. All right, so you can close your eyes and just take a few deep cleansing breaths. Just opening your heart as you breathe in to expansion, to healing. And as you exhale, just letting go, letting whatever is not necessary in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, let it go. Breathing in again and holding your breath. This is a really powerful way to cleanse. And then slowly letting it out. Intentionally releasing even more. And if you haven't taken one last deep cleansing breath, then do that. And if this is your third, then just breathe naturally. Just take a moment to check in with yourself, with your body, with your breath. Just observing how you're feeling. Maybe there's an emotion that's in your body right now. Just taking a moment to just observe that emotion, just not trying to get rid of it, but just observing it. What is the feeling that's going around right now in your body? Just see if you can just grab onto it for a moment or just sit with it. Just noticing what it's doing. Is it moving? Is it in one place? Does it have a color or a shape? And what does it seem to be connected to? Is there a source? Maybe you get an image or a word or just a feeling of the source. Maybe you don't, and that's okay. And just see as you notice this feeling if somehow you're separating from it a little bit, which probably you are. Is it going down in intensity? Is it diminishing? I'm assuming this is a negative feeling. And if it's not, then you can do the opposite and amplify it if it's a positive one. But a lot of us have some negative feelings in there. And just ask yourself if you would like to release some of this. And you may be surprised. Sometimes we're attached to our bad feelings because they're comfortable, they're familiar. And if that's the case, just see if there's some of it that you can let go of. And as you focus on that desire, you begin to connect in with your heart, with light, with higher sources of love. Maybe there's an archangel or an ascended master, or just beautiful unconditional love in the form of white or golden light. Just opening your heart like you're opening the windows to let the beautiful sunlight in. Just opening to receive that light, to plug in to that connection, and allowing the light to flow into your body and begin removing that stuckness, washing it away, letting it be cleared out of your body somehow, drained out, sucked out, erased. Sometimes we have to really focus and visualize to stay with the energies. Just imagining a river of light. Maybe there's colors just flowing through your body, allowing it to circulate around. Letting that old feeling just be dissolved away. And keep breathing, always coming back to the breath, letting your body relax into this experience. And now begin to breathe into a feeling of amplification of the light. With every breath in, imagine you're pumping up the light, expanding this beautiful glowing ball in your heart. With every breath in, it's getting bigger and bigger and glowing brighter and brighter until it expands out beyond your body. With every breath out, imagine you're just soaking it up even more. Just keep amplifying this light. Inhale, amplify, exhale, absorb. Just keep doing this for a few breaths. Imagining the ball of light in your heart is now larger than basketball, much larger than that, maybe even like a hula hoop. Maybe it's bigger than that. And it begins, this light from within begins to connect with the light showering upon you until your aura, it's all around you and your aura, that circular outline of light, your light, layers of your light body are being activated. And you're exuding light. You're like a lighthouse, emanating light from every pore. And taking a moment as you are in this state of expansion to just count your blessings. What is it that's in your life now that you feel gratitude for? It could be as simple as being in your body and whatever is working in your body. Could be the nature around you. Could be a person in your life who you're grateful for, or a pet. Just focus on these things. Bring one maybe to your mind. Just really focus on that feeling of how grateful you are, how blessed you feel about this specific person or situation or experience. Breathe into that feeling. Maybe there's a few. Just allow yourself to focus on the gratitude and let your heart open up. Sometimes the ego mind comes in, and just see it for what it is. And just ask it to take a back seat. I'm just reminded that you're in the driver's seat and that it is way in the back. And you hear its concerns, but you're asking that negative, protective ego to just rest while you soak up this light. Let it take a break for a while. Keep breathing into your heart, breathing out into the light. Just resting in this peaceful flow. Your true self. This is your higher vibrational self. Remember what this feels like. This is your natural state of being. If the mind wanders, just come back to the light flowing through you. Feeling your heart opening more and more. Allowing that light to flood in and flow out. Taking some time to really seal this in. Another trick in neuro-linguistic programming is to anchor this in. And you can do that by touching an area on your body. Sometimes it's just your pulse point in your inner wrist. Maybe it's the area below your ear, behind your jaw, or maybe it's the area and kind of next to your funny bone in your elbow. Just pick an area and just touch that area and anchor this in. This is called an anchor. As you push on that spot, you're anchoring in to remember this feeling. It's like pushing on an elevator button and then let go after a few seconds. Breathe in more light, amplify that light even more, and then push that spot again, anchor it in again. Let's do that one more time, letting go. Breathing in that light, so much expansion, so much openness. Smile. Feels so good just to let this in and then push on that point. Anchor it in again, one last time. And so in the next few hours or days, just test it out. Push on that point. Notice the feeling if it comes back. This needs to be reactivated every so often, but we've anchored something in here. So taking a deep breath in and exhaling out. Just bring your energy a little bit closer into your body now, touching the top of your head, touching your either shoulder, just really sealing it in. You want to close up a little bit just to protect your energy. Keeping the vibration open, keeping your heart open. And if you'd like to come into gratitude with your hands in prayer position, your heart center in prayer mudra, or fold them over your heart, or whatever you want, just take a moment to just give thanks. Honoring yourself, honoring the practice, honoring your divine guides who've been here with you. Inhaling, exhaling, coming back into your body, stretching out. And then you can open your eyes when you're ready. All right, so I haven't actually ever done NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, in a guided meditation like this before, from what I can remember. So it just kind of came to me, but I hope that was helpful in some way and that you could feel that light, you could feel that expansion. And if not, just do it again. It's often, we have to kind of artificially open ourselves up to receiving this. It's part of our free will, one of the divine laws of free will. So just make this a practice, right? Take some time to quiet your mind every day if you can, or regularly, ideally every day, even just for a few minutes, just really connect in who is here for you. There's always sources of love, and bringing in that light. It's so helpful, so healing. We need it more than ever. All right. Well, thank you all for hanging in, even though I was late. I'm going to go check on our basement. And in the meantime, wishing you all many blessings. And thank you. Oh, thank you for your kind words. And feel free to connect with me about any of these, offerings that I'm, especially the 10-month program. It's going to be really, really cool, really exciting. All right. Many blessings. Much love. Bye.